Hi, I'm Trish Wells and I'm the Women's Discipleship Worker at St Mary's. What does Advent mean to you? Maybe it's all to do with chocolate and the Christian version of the Advent calendar with a Bible verse behind each door. Or maybe you're a fan of the Christmas markets, our own Victoria Market here in Cheadle, or the Manchester markets, or even the German markets. Sadly, none of these are happening this year. But for me, Advent's about candles. More than 30 years ago now, Phil and I took Charlotte, then about 10 months old, to visit my grandparents in Gloucestershire. It was one of the Sundays in Advent, and in pride of place at the front of the church was the Advent candle, placed on what like a fairly unstable stand. Charlotte was at the wriggly, determined stage, and we allowed her to crawl about in the church aisle. What harm could come from that? Until, with a sudden turn of speed, she crawled off, making a beeline for the Advent candle. The whole congregation held its breath. Who would get there first, the baby crowing at speed or her dad rushing after her? Neither Charlotte nor the candle were harmed in the making of this story. Every year we have an Advent candle in our house. This year we have a plain one with just numbers, but some years we have candles which also have the names and titles of Jesus. Some of these come from Isaiah chapter 9. Wonderful, Counselor, Prince of Peace. Another of Jesus' titles is also referenced in Isaiah chapter 9. Verse 2 says this: "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned." We know from John's Gospel that Jesus is the light of the world. In John chapter 8 verse 12, Jesus says of himself, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." In December, the Northern Hemisphere, the days are very short and the nights long as we wait for the darkest days of the winter solstice. The whole of our world this year is in a place of deep darkness with the COVID-19 pandemic. As the world waits for the hope of a vaccine, we wait for the coming of the true hope, the real light of the world, Jesus Christ. We are called to share this hope and light with all people, and I trust that we will find creative ways of doing so this Christmas. Our vision is to be Christ-centred in a self-centred world, so that by sharing Jesus, lives, families and communities are transformed. God bless.